What's up, everyone? It's quarantined Ryan the Tone Geek here, and it's New Gear Day. There has been, at least I've had a few people reach out to me and says, "Hey Ryan, have you noticed that there is prices crashing on Reverb and any of the other sites and local, musicians, and it sucks that people are dumping gear." If you're in the buyer's market, it's a really good time for you to find some really good deals. I've been meaning to pick up one of these devices, which is a Radial Engineering Bigshot EFX, so I can do pedal comparisons. So for example, I have a Klon and a Klon clone that I built, and I want to compare the two. The problem is that there's a buffer in there, so even if you had one before the other, testing the two is not a good idea because of the buffer, and that introduces some things. This is a really cool device for helping out with that. Now, it's only a 2-pedal switcher, or 2-loop switcher, but look how small it is. It's I think going to help me isolate 2 pedals, basically take one in and out of the chain, or the 2 in and out of the chain. Plus, this thing's pretty cool. It has a lift, it has a mute function. So for a couple other ways that you can use this device is, I got my cheat sheet over here, is using the EFX as with 2 pedal chains, which is kind of like what I was talking about. You can do a full pedal chain or just 1 pedal. I'll likely use this as a tool just to test pedals back and forth. So basically my clones versus the real deal, or 2 clones, whatever it is, 2 pedals, making sure that they don't have any sort of interaction. You can use this EFX with 1 loop and a tuner. So basically you can have the loop going in, and then the other just have it feeding a tuner out, so you all have an always on tuner. That's not a use case that I have, but it's going to be helpful for some of you. The last thing is actually using this as an ABY amp switcher. So you're able to feed and split the signal, or just send the signal to 1 amp versus another, splitting the signal out, going, like I said, to 1 amp, both amps, amp 2 versus amp 1. Say if you got a crunchy amp like a Marshall or something like that, you can put that on a loop, and then you have a pristine signal going between the two. You do have the ability to lift, and that's huge because I have to use that with my, let's see if it's easy, Real P-Split. This is really cool. This also does splitting. It's very specific to splitting and isolation, low noise. You're able to lift the ground and you're able to change the phase. This has a little bit of advantage when you go for an ABY, only because this doesn't do phase flipping. So still, this is the better deal if you're going to do amp switching, or basically taking your signal and splitting it. This will be good for most use cases, but it's not going to have that phase flip. For example, the Dual Professional is out of phase with Steel String Singer number 4. So you need one of these, and you flip the phase, and all of a sudden both amps are pushing air at the same time, versus out of phase and you lose all your bass, and bad things can happen. But again, going back to my use cases, I'm going to take this, compare TS9 to a TS10, switch them in and out, and not have to worry about the buffer introducing anything interesting or wrong within the tone chain. So really cool. If you ever watch like That Pedal Show, they have a whole switching unit, and that's how they achieve sort of a pristine test between one pedal and another using a switcher. Boom. So this is pretty cool. You actually, here's a trick. If you do get one of these, you don't actually have to plug it in. Plugging it in does one thing and one thing only. That lights up the LEDs. So if this is going to be in a weird place for you, don't always feel like you have to have it plugged in. That strictly is just working for the LEDs. It's nice, but it's not essential to the use of the product. So for example, I was trying to feed 2 amps, and I had to make sure the cable lengths were all good between my amps over here, but the problem was I needed to have a really short cable length, so I ended up having this unit dangling over here, and we're gonna have some fun with this pedal in the future videos, by the way. but I wasn't able to run a power to it, and guess what? That was okay. As long as I remembered that, and you can hear it, you know, if 1 amp is on or one effects unit is on, that's, you get the picture. Basically, if it's dry or otherwise. I'm rambling on. I hope you guys are all doing well. This is my new gear day pedal video. Very quick, hopefully quicker. I may edit a lot of it, but I hope you're doing well. We're all right for now. Thanks for asking. And we're going to have fun with this. Do some pedal testing in the future. So, while in quarantine, right? When in Rome, while in quarantine? Maybe I'll work on my jokes.